so happy because I've gotten so much done and also taken time to relax, and just I feel like there's a clarity that isn't usually there. It completely and totally sounds like I'm in a windstorm right now, so I'm going to apologize for that starting now, because we live on top of a hill and the winds just sort of whip around our house. Today I wanted to give an update on what all has been going on. I know I haven't been making as many videos lately, and I also haven't taken the time to just kind of pause and talk about what's been going on. So this is just a general update. And I'm going to start with a couple of little things that just make me super happy. The first one probably seems like a small thing to a lot of people, but this is huge to me. And it is that when Tessie, the way it works is the 3 kids that go to our local public school get home first. And then about half an hour later, Maggie gets home. And then about half an hour after that, Tessie gets home, because they all have various bus rides from their different schools. What I usually do when I bring Tessie in is Tessie is bundled up in all of her snow gear. And when she has snow pants on, usually I'll take her boots off and help her get her snow pants off and help her get her jacket off. But on days when she doesn't have her snow pants, which she hasn't lately because the buses are really heated and I don't want her to get too hot, she'll just have her jacket on. And so I'll take her jacket off, and she's totally capable of taking her boots off if she wants them off. But I kind of give her that option if she wants to keep them on or take them off, because as someone whose sensory aversion is definitely feeling the floors with their feet, I'm okay with shoes on in my house. However, she usually takes them right off. Maggie came and got me because Tessie was upset because she wanted her tie shoes off and she couldn't undo one of the ties, and I came and helped her. So that has evolved from that to, I noticed several times in the last couple of weeks, Tessie gets home from school, Maggie actually led her over to the couch and sat her down and then took her boots off and put her boots away in the hallway closet, where Maggie actually also puts her own boots, and then she also helped Tessie get her socks off. I was surprised when I saw it the first time, and I was surprised when I saw it the 4th time. Especially the putting the boots away, probably because the other 3 definitely have to be reminded. But Maggie knows the boots go there so that they're there in the morning. I probably mentioned this before, but on Fridays, the kids go to spend the night at my parents' house, and Maggie, if we have a day off school, Maggie will have their shoes lined up at their door ready for them to go, because she likes her time alone in the house, and she also likes things to be on schedule, which has probably been the most stressful thing in the last month. Like a lot of different areas, there are teacher shortages right now, and so all of our kids' schools have missed at least one day. Maggie's school missed closer to a week of school because of those shortages, and Maggie loves school. So that is always really, really tough for her to see the other kids going off to school, and she is probably the one that loves school the most, and she had to stay home for a week. I mean, I completely understand it, but yeah, it was definitely a tough week for her, watching the other kids go to school and her being home. In home renovation news, for anyone who doesn't know, I've probably talked about it like a million times. So our kitchen and the floor of the kitchen and the ceiling of our bedroom were destroyed when there was a leak underneath our dishwasher that you couldn't see, that wasn't visible to the naked eye until it got really, really bad. We discovered it at the end of October. Everything was demoed right away and torn apart, but it's still not fixed. So the drywall in the bedroom is just about fixed now. The kitchen is still completely torn apart, but hopefully it'll be fixed soon. We do have a stove and a refrigerator, and I put a plug in the side of the garbage disposal, so we have a sink too. So we're getting by. It'll just be really nice when it's not like subfloor, because subfloor is hard to clean. So I will be happy when that's over. Paul has been really, really busy with work, which is great, but it's also hard. But honestly, he is a small business owner, and him being busy and needing to work 14-hour days is a good thing for us. So my office will not be finished. It's basically finished. Everything's in here, but I'm not going to give you a tour of it until the kitchen and the bedroom are finished, because I'm storing a lot of stuff in here, so it doesn't look the way that I ultimately want it to look when I show it to you. I also started a TikTok just under Autmazing, so if anyone is interested in that, it's up. I'll put the link down below with my other link. The other really amazing thing going on with Tessie and Maggie is that they continue to surprise me with the Kindles and playing together. If you if you've noticed or known in the past, Maggie has been really dependent on her Kindle. And then Tessie got into playing on the Kindle too, and I got her own little Kindle. But it has helped Maggie to be a lot more flexible because she's okay with Tessie having her Kindle. They were switching back and forth, and then one of the Kindles will go dead and they'll be playing on it together, and then they won't be playing on it at all. So it is really just both helping with sharing and also with not having it. Yesterday, there was only one Kindle, and Maggie let Tessie take it to school with no objections. Like, she played on it for a little bit in the morning while Tessie, well, before she got ready. And then when it was time for her to take her bath and get ready for school, she gave her Kindle over to Tessie, and she didn't make a sound about it when Tessie was playing it as she walked out the door and got on her school bus, which is, to me, absolutely amazing. For me, it wasn't worth her mental health of taking it away, but if she is going to be letting her sister have it sometimes, and Tessie's so busy that Tessie isn't on Kindle all the time. She just, will sit down and play a game and then get up and run around and play with her toys and be lining stuff up and climbing and jumping and doing all the things that Tessie does. So for me, that's really cool. And this morning, both of them were dead because they didn't get plugged in, and neither of them had a problem. We had a completely Kindle-free morning because I'll use the tools that are at our disposal if I need to, but this also makes me totally happy. Libby is getting big. We go on all our walks. She started puppy school, and then because of COVID, puppy school was canceled for 2 weeks. So next week she will start back up with puppy school, but she is such a smart girl. Sometimes she's too smart for her own good. Like, we have a little automatic sensor on our garbage can that opens the lid, and she has definitely learned that if she puts her nose over it, the lid of the garbage can opens. And now from my big news, when I was diagnosed as being autistic and having ADHD, the main recommendation that they made was for me to start Adhd Meds. They thought that would be really, really helpful in just every way. If I had if I had that help for executive function especially, I would be able to just not be so stressed and anxious about things. And over the last 2 years, I've tried to get in at various places. Family doctor didn't feel comfortable prescribing a stimulant medication, which is generally the most effective with ADHD. And I tried other things like blood pressure medicines, and they didn't work. They made my blood pressure go lower. So I tried a lot of different things, and I got to the point where seeing how much easier life is for the people I know who have ADHD, who are on an ADHD medication, made me really want to try it just to see what my life would be like. I called 9 different psychiatrists that took my insurance, and none of them were accepting patients. Then finally I got set up with a psychiatrist that takes my insurance. I saw him yesterday, and he prescribed dextromethyl. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Basically like a form of Ritalin, and I'm super psyched about that. Today is my first day on it, and I feel it's just, everything is easier. Doing all the things I have to do are easier. The way I usually felt would be like, I'd walk through a room and I'd see something that I needed to pick up, and it would be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to pick that up, and I would make myself pick it up. But it was hard. It was just so much harder, it's a silly thing, but it's true. Everything was just harder, and I've been on it for a day now, and it's just easier. I see something and I actually want to pick it up and clean things up, instead of having to force myself to. I wanted to go out and walk the dog instead of being so tired that I didn't feel like doing it. Just the general kind of slog and hardness of life feels not there. Feels like it isn't there. When you find something that works like this, it can be hard because you're like, why wasn't I on this my whole life? How much easier would everything in life have been if I'd found this earlier? If I'd found out I had ADHD and tried a medication earlier, how much easier would college classes be? And just I feel less anxious about things. The idea of responding to comments on YouTube isn't scary. I made a ton of phone calls and appointments this morning that I'd been putting off making. Just things that generally caused me to feel a sense of dread that isn't there right now. So I hope this lasts. I am really cautiously optimistic and happy. So happy because I've gotten so much done and also taken time to relax, and just I feel like there's a clarity that isn't usually there. So that's exciting. I will definitely do an update in the future. Oh, I know one other thing. I was in a migraine study, and it was for this device that is not a medication based basically migraine intervention, I guess. It's for when you have a migraine. It was a device that blew air up my nose to lower my body temperature. I was accepted into the study, and then I went in to our local university. It's one of 3 universities who's running this study, and I used it, and basically it blew air with saline, cool air with saline up this side of my nose. It kind of was almost like a neti pot for air, and then it came out the other side of my nose, like a steam. And I was skeptical. I was skeptical because not very many things have worked for my migraines, and things that used to work have stopped working. So that is frustrating. And after 15 minutes, the migraine was considerably improved, and I had to stay there for 2 hours. So I took a nap in the chair that they had put me in, and it was gone. When I woke up, my migraine was gone, and it was gone for the rest of the day, and it was gone the next day. So to me, that's just extraordinary. Now, whenever I feel migraine coming on, it being cold here, I'm like going outside and taking deep breaths and trying to replicate this, because it's amazing. And I'm hoping that device is on the market sooner rather than later, because I was just shocked by how well it worked. Usually when I have a migraine start, especially like anytime after waking up with it, it means that I not only have it for that day, but I have it for the next day. So yeah, to have a migraine start midway into the day, to go in, do something for 15 minutes, and have that migraine go away is extraordinary for me, and is super exciting. Anyways, I think that is everything I can think of at the moment. School is going well, and hopefully it stays that way. I do have to admit, I haven't felt very much like making videos lately, but I do now. So I was gonna say my new plan is to make 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'm going to start doing that for a while. But now that I've started this new medication, there might be more videos in the future. My plan was to tell you I was going down to 3 videos for the foreseeable future. And I guess that's still what I'm planning right now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But I'm not sure now that I'm feeling this way and feeling like doing stuff, how long that will last. So I guess we will see how this goes. Anyways, that's it for today. If you like this video, I'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in all things autism, I'd love it if you'd hit subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.